Well, it's been a while since you've been back here with new streams, I guess. So, I've been thinking about something I've read online about online critics and um their opinions because of and it all started around an article or a forum thing that I was reading across and I happened to come across. It says, I have the need to care about what online critics think of my hobbies. I'm really sick of listening about what's wrong with the media industry, yet I feel the odd need to listen to it so I know what I might do wrong. Okay, this is something that this is something called critical dissonance, where the critics might not like it, but other people do. But here's the thing: the reason online critics or critics in general are a thing is because they want to get their opinions out there. And sometimes people, whether or not they read the reviews or listen to the critics, they tend to go find out about it anyway. That's how we got things like Ride to Hell Retribution. Like, it was, when it first came out, it was panned by every single critic in the world. But people bought the game just, or not bought the game, but some people bought the game and then they let other people, probably their friends, play the game just to show how bad it is. So we can join in to see how bad something is. Granted, that game became kind of a bestseller because of how bad it was, but whatever. And the thing about online critics, you don't have to listen to everything they say or agree with everything. Because if everybody um agreed or listened to and followed through with everything critics say, then we would have a very boring society. And sure, there are amazing movies out there that are good, but there are some hidden gems out there that don't make it, even though it was critically bashed or critics liked it but nobody else watched it. And critics have always been a thing for years. And there's a mantra that has been said by a couple of people. The rock critic says the only opinion that matters is your own, and a podcast I listen to frequently called We Hate Movies says it's okay to like a movie. In general, and expanding upon that, it's okay to have an opinion about yourself or things you like because that's what makes you you. You don't have to follow everything that the critics or the media says is wrong or right. You can have an opinion. Like, for example, there is a little known band called Led Zeppelin. Now, they are considered classic musicians in terms of rock. And I really like them. But here's the thing, back then when they started, critics hated them. Like, throughout their heyday, critics despised them. Mostly, well, yeah, they did not like them. They were considered the Nickelback of music back then because they didn't have any variety. I mean, granted, they have some sort of issue with plagiarism, especially with their first two albums. I don't really like those two albums. I have most of their albums, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, despite the critical dragging that the band actually got during their heyday, people ended up going to their shows and saying that they liked them a lot. So it doesn't really matter. And then, hell, as time went on, they got a bigger and bigger fan base. And then what? Well past when they broke up, their fan base has gotten more and more bigger. That includes mine. I have about all their albums up to Physical Graffiti, and I really enjoyed Led Zeppelin in general. Even though, like, my musical tastes are all over the place, I really like them in general. So the thing about here's the thing, you can listen to the critics and the but it's more like their opinion. I mean, they're not forcing their opinion and you have to follow them. It's just something that, you know, they're articulate with what they want to get across. And, totally fine if you disagree with them. Like, there are people out there who love listening or watching Ebert and Siskel back when they had a TV show, and they have some opinions that I don't really follow about movies. Like Friday the 13th, they don't really like those movies, but there is a rabid fan base for those movies, even though they don't like those movies or most of them. I didn't really get a like I don't really get all the reviews for their Friday the 13th shows, but they have a huge fan base, and you know what? It's fine if you disagree with them because if everybody agreed with everything that online like critics or online critics or social media says, then we wouldn't have any cult followings in movies or any underappreciated gems. Like, and that's everything would be boring if everybody followed critics, like agree with everything critics would say. And so it's your thoughts that make you a different a person, you know? Like, for example, back when 2000 oh sorry, back when 2001: A Space Odyssey was released, there are people who fall head over heels for that movie because it was a technical achievement. But you know, I don't really like that movie that much, and that's my opinion, you know. Um, and I've watched that movie twice. One with a remote with a fast forward button, and one just playing out. And both times I was bored senseless. And here's the thing: I've heard of people who hate that movie and like that movie. Back then, this was like a this was a critical darling apparently. I mean, like as far as I know. But 2001: A Space Odyssey, I can see like the complaints and the praise for it. The complaints I hear, which I agree with, it's too long, and there's a lot of moments or instances of leaving the camera running for several minutes at a time, and it's like, yeah, that's why I don't like that movie that much because, yeah, it is kind of boring and it just runs way too long up until like the what was it called the I forgot the name already. The HAL 9000. I thought it was gonna be mostly the HAL 9000 thing, but it turned out there was a lot more, and it was just not interesting for me. And so it was for me again. It was like boring, and I don't want to watch it again. But at the same time, I can see the praise for it. I mean, it is a technical achievement, but no, no. Actually, you know what? No, no. But I know it's a technical achievement. I've seen the movie twice, and I see why people like it, and I see why people don't like it. But it's just one of those things where it's my opinion, but I can see other people's opinion. Like, it's okay if you don't agree with somebody. That just makes you a different person. It makes you stand out. Like, there are people out there who don't like Nickelback, but I don't think they're terrible. Hell, if anything, I actually need every once in a while I need a Nickelback fix. Like I need to listen to a Nickelback song. Like sure, I listen to Radiohead and Eminem and Chaos and Beck and Led Zeppelin, but once in a while I need a Nickelback song to like listen to so I can actually like get that earworm out of my head. And also, like if you like Creed, I'm I know not many people like them now, but I understand why you like them because the musicianship is not great. But I can't see why, but I respect your opinion because again, there are critics out there who hate Creed, but they have a loyal fan base. And I don't like Drake, but I don't like Drake, but there are people out there who think he is amazing. Like critics like him, and looking back, I'm like, is it because I'm getting older that people like? I don't like Drake at all, but is it because I'm getting older that I don't understand the music? But that can't be. That can't probably can't be because my dad loves Drake. My my sisters like Drake a lot, but I don't understand it. You know what? Leave it in the if you like Drake, leave it in the comments. Facebook me, tweet at me. Tell me why that you like Drake because I'm trying here. I listened to a few of his songs and I'm not getting it. I think his music is dull. I think it's boring. I think I can't even dance. It's not even because I can't dance to it. I just feel like I can fall asleep to his music. And that's not a good thing. There's music out there that I can probably fall asleep to in a good way, like Radiohead's A Moon-Shaped Pool, because it's so soothing. I can fall asleep to it easily because it's just like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like soft music, and 10 being really hard metal. That album is a 2 or a 3 at best because it's so soothing and relaxing. But Drake is so boring and milquetoast, and I don't understand why people really like him. There are people out there who think that he's the best rapper of all time, and I'm like, I don't see it. Can you explain it to me? Because there's nothing there for me. There's nothing there that I can latch onto because it's just so dull and repetitive and he's so boring and his albums reach 50 or 60 minutes and I can't do that. If I can't stand a 5-minute song by him, what makes you think I can listen to an entire album? Like one of the albums that I really like is the Eminem Show, and that's 50 minutes, and that goes by quick because Eminem's consistently like on a roll. There are a few songs I skipped on that album, sure, but that's mostly because I've heard those songs before on the radio, and granted, I replay those songs constantly. They're good songs, but I'd rather listen to the ones that I don't listen to. But at least the albums like the Eminem Show, while they're it's a 50-minute album, I think it goes by really fast, even if I don't skip it because it's constantly interesting and it constantly changes things. Like Drake, I can't. Most of his songs sound the same, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This isn't a Drake rant album or a Drake rant video. This is more of a critical Dissonance video. Okay, but here's the thing. I don't like Drake, but critics seem to really, really like him, and a lot of people like him, but that's my opinion that I don't like him. And you know what? I'm okay with it. With everything else, but I still don't know why people like Drake, but that's beside the point. It's okay to have an opinion, because that makes you a person at the end of the day. That means you don't have to follow everything that everybody ever has to do or has to say. If you don't like something that everybody else does, you can keep it to yourself, sure, but you don't have to force yourself to like it. You can find something that people don't like and have a latch onto it. It's okay if you don't like something or like something. It's okay if you listen to critics or online, people who you respect online, like online critics. It's fine if you listen to them, but that's their opinion, and it's totally fine if you like don't like something, and a lot of people don't. And if people judge you for it, either don't listen to them anymore or just explain why you like them. Just like me and explaining why I don't like Drake. Because he's an uninteresting musician. He's probably a nice guy, probably the nicest guy, but his music is shit. I don't like his music. And I can explain it. I can't clarify enough how much I don't like his music. But there are a few people out there who think that he's great. And you know what? I'm not going to take it away from them. Because maybe one day he can actually make something that I can like. But that's not going to be that much because, he's been around for, almost a decade, I think. And I still haven't gotten into him. But people have, so I have to respect that. even though I have to ask why. Again, leave it in the comments. Um, like again, Facebook me, Twitter me, or whatever. Just tell me why. But again, that's beside the point. I'm again not a Drake rant video. At the end of the day, everyone has an opinion. As long as you can explain why you like something, that makes you a better person. Just clarify why you like or not like something. Okay? It's okay if you disagree with critics or you have to like see what they want, like what opinion they have. Just don't follow anything. You see this here? This is your brain. No one can take that away from you unless there's brain surgery. Or they kill you and they take out your brain. And they hide it from someone, like from society. The point is, it's your brain, it's your mind, it's your opinion. Everybody has to respect it. And that's totally fine. Unless unless it's something really awful, then go for it. Just be yourself and just make sure you're okay with your own opinion. Just like if you want to, you can go ahead and listen to everybody. Just get different opinions. Everybody has a preference. But don't let being obsessed with don't let it all get away from you. All you have to do is just think for yourself and think of what kind of person you want to be, whether or not people disagree with you. You don't have to agree with every single thing a critic will say. Otherwise, again, the world will be a very boring place. So, again, as I said before, with a certain online critic, the only opinion that matters is your own. So, thank you for listening to or watching me talk about this. I just wanted to get that out there. So, until then,